Hey, welcome to Real Mom Talk with Lisa.
And Melissa.
It's Wednesday.
November 6th,
Sure is.
2024.
And, we're coming to you live and totally unprepared. Not just unprepared for what we woke up to, but also unprepared for this episode. But
Right.
we felt like it was important to come together.
Well, truthfully, we knew we were going to make an emergency podcast episode.
Either way. Well, true.
But we
true.
thought
That
it
was
would be
the other podcast.
What's that?
The other one, yay,
Yeah.
women power, that one.
And you know what? We're still women power. However, a very large portion of our fellow women let us down. And that's how I feel. That's what I believe. For me, I get certainty when my response is tears. And I've had a lot of tears.
What does that mean? You get certainty when your response is
It
tears?
means that the way that I'm feeling has been validated. The way that I'm feeling is real. It's not untrue. It's validation.
Like, you're giving yourself the validation.
Yeah, like even when I'm in an argument with my partner and I'm not getting it, or in like a downward spiral, and he finally says something and it resonates and I cry. And I'm like, that's my signal that I get it now. That's true. I have certainty, right? So I have certainty for me that women will sell themselves out to feel protected.
The illusion of protection.
The illusion of protection. And it's my opinion that we are stronger, more sound, more prepared. Do you think goddess, God, whoever would have given us the power of birth if we couldn't rule the fucking world? Come on. We're worth more than that. We bring life to this world. None of these motherfuckers would exist if it weren't for women. And they want to keep us pregnant and at home. Because you know what is happening in the workforce is women are out more earning men in droves. So they want to kick us out of there. That's my opinion.
Well, I think that the data would say that we are not out earning our men financially, but I think that we continue to outperform for the reasons that you said. There is a lot of data, Supermom.
My fiance bought me this cup for Mother's Day.
I love that.
I hated it at first, but now I use it proudly. Sorry.
That's okay. I mean, the data has shown that, time and again, especially working moms, but, are some of the best employees because we got shit to do, people. We got kids counting on us. We got neighbors. We've got spouses, partners, employees, colleagues, etc., community members, all the hats that we wear mean that we got to be really diligent with how we use our time. And a working mom gets shit done.
Mm-hmm. And non-working moms get shit done.
Well, yes.
As well.
Yes.
But they're doing it for free. Okay.
Well, yes.
And that, I think, is what this is about. They want us, because when we're both working, both people have to contribute across the board, right? So it's not just the women doing all the kid things in the house and this and that, because we also have jobs. So the men they don't want to do that. That's why America being great again looks like the 50s, you guys. It's white. It's women at home.
This is really hard for me on so many levels, but like what you just said there, I mean, given that I have, just a year ago walked away from, a very successful career in corporate America. And I put that in quotes because, by standard measures of success in our society, yes, I was successful, but I was
Very.
also miserable. But, now I'm at home. I have my own business. My focus is predominantly on my family.
Mhm.
And I wrestle with that a lot. And I've been wrestling with that for a year now as I figure out who I am in this, I turned 45 this year. I, fully am, I'm having a midlife crisis. I'm not getting a Lamborghini. I'm not getting a boyfriend, none of that stuff. But I'm questioning so much of where I want to go for the next half of my life. And right now,
Did what I say trigger you, Lisa, because you're not working?
no, I'm not. It's something that I have been thinking about
Mm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And am I being unfaithful to all of the women out there that are working their asses off?
No.
Women and moms, either just women.
Do you know what the difference is? You want to find what your purpose is. The time you're taking right now is to find out what that is, okay? Every human on earth needs a purpose. And we've been taught that only men are functioning to their highest ability when they have a purpose. And I've seen that with my fiance, just moved here 6 weeks ago. He hasn't had a job. He just got one. He just started. It's been great. Him not having a purpose, I saw a significant downturn in him, okay? And our relationship, it's been very challenging. But we're all like that. We all need a purpose. Some women's purpose really is at home with their children, and that's beautiful, okay? I love that for you. But can we respect the ones that don't want that?
Totally. And for many years, decades, I was that woman.
Yeah,
I think
same. I've always had to be that woman.
yeah, move your mic a little bit closer.
You know what I want to say real quick? When I met my ex-husband, and he's from Scotland, right? That's they're becoming more like American now. But at the time when I met him in 2005, they were very liberal. They made our liberal look conservative. Okay. That's how Sweden is now. Anyway, I remember on a date with him telling him, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And he was like, I don't want that. I don't want a partner like that. And I was like, oh. And it changed my view. And I'm so grateful to you for that, Blair. Thank you. My ex-husband's a feminist, and thank God he's a girl dad.
Yeah.
And my fiance is the same. Although he tells me if I could support you so you could do all your witchy shit and all the things you want to do and not have to slave over hair, I would do that. But that's also him supporting my purpose.
Right. Right.
I'm a burlesque dancer. This man supports that. He sits in the crowd while I take off my clothes in front of other people. Okay? He supports my purpose. We can get into why getting naked is my purpose later.
That's a different episode.
But burlesque is very political. If you don't think it is, you're crazy.
Yeah. I mean, my husband is very supportive now of where I'm at and where we're at, but it was an adjustment for him because he didn't want a traditional wife. He didn't want a stay-at-home wife, and he didn't marry someone who wanted that either, right? And
didn't even think you wanted kids.
We got married, didn't even know if we would have kids. So things change, right? And we change. And for me, even though the change is coming from within, it's still hard to accept.
Yeah.
Because 100%. It's change. Yeah. Change is hard. It is scary. And when you've defined yourself one way for decades, to find yourself wanting to redefine how you see yourself, it's a big deal.
I want to share, if you are into spirituality, okay, don't lose hope, because in the tarot, which I am an avid reader of, Scorpio, we're in Scorpio season, is connected with the death card. The death card symbolizes change. Okay, we are going to go into massive change. It symbolizes transformation and new beginnings. And the Tower card is representative of sudden change. Both remind us that destruction leads to renewal. Okay. 2025 is looking wild, y'all, astrologically speaking. So if you're into that stuff, go follow my friend Danielle Rosado. She's very, very intelligent and smart and well-versed in this. Just listening to her talk, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, girl? You got to break it down. Those are the ones to pay attention to if you want just confirmation on things.
I mean, 2025 is going to be a wild year for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, don't expect anything we've ever seen. We already know we're in unprecedented times. When Biden dropped out of the race, I remember so many posts of saying, I'm tired of living in unprecedented times. It's just getting started. And that doesn't have to be scary, okay? So on my way here today, I was thinking about how I was in a great mood yesterday. Lisa and I talked on the phone for an hour. We were all excited about, getting our podcast pushed out and our social media and like our plan and all of that. And my fiance and I, Jacob, we had a breakthrough. We've been struggling. We had a breakthrough. I was happy to have a light work day and I went to dance class. Like it was a good day. And it changed like that. Okay. Because of these results. So I'm driving to work and I'm like, what? I need to feel like I was feeling yesterday. And you know how I did that? I fucking said it. I spoke it out loud. I decided I'm not going to go down that downward spiral. I get to decide. We all get to decide not to go there. So we have to accept and we have to fight still. And we're tired. I know we're tired.
I'm not there.
I know. You take your time. I'm not
it's
there.
been a rough couple of days as I prepare for this. I have not slept well.
Mm-hmm. I was up most of the night.
Yeah. My daughter asked me this morning, when are we going to know the results of the election? And I said, well, we already know. And my son goes, it's Trump, isn't it? And I said, yep.
He's 6.
And I said, yep, he won. And my kids asked me, they're like, what's going to happen to us? And for those of you listening, you may think, oh, why would your kids, because we talk, I would say generally at an age appropriate level about what's going on in our country, but they overhear things, right? At our house, probably at school. They pick up on the energy, right? And I said, nothing is going to happen to you. We are safe. You are safe in our home. You are safe here in California, and you are safe in this country. I don't know if that last part is true. And then my daughter asked me, Mommy, what will happen to you? And I said, nothing. Mommy is going to be just fine, right? But I don't know if we're going to be just fine. I don't know that my daughter will have, even living in California, the same rights that I have now. I don't know that no one knows what's going to happen. The pundits, the news sources, nobody knows, right? And I think we've all been living with a great deal of uncertainty and change, not just this year, but when you think about the pandemic starting, right? We have been in a state of varying levels of uncertainty, change, and fear for a long time. And I'm just tired of it, and I'm tired of people being angry and mean and only caring about themselves. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know how I make a difference right where I'm standing with the 2 kids that I have when the examples around them fly in direct opposition of the things I'm teaching them about compassion and empathy and right from wrong and being accountable and taking responsibility for yourself. When we've elected a convicted criminal to the highest office, not just in the land that we live in the world. Make no mistake, this is a world issue. It is not just an American issue.
And go see what other world leaders are saying to Trump, okay? And who India, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, all supportive of Trump. Now, I also get that you're going to want to get in bed with him because of what Lisa just said, right? The amount of posts I've seen of people saying, oh, I woke up today and I can smell more affordable groceries in the air. Do you understand what tariffs are? I mean, I really don't, but what I do know from some of the things I listen to is that the middle class, which is significantly losing ground every day, are the ones that are going to take that on, okay? You know why we have brands like Kellogg with poor ingredients in them? Do you want to know the truth? It's because America is so big that if they put clean, like non-toxic things like other countries do in the same brand, we wouldn't be able to afford one box of cereal. It'd be $50. That's why we have food full of chemicals and dyes, because it makes enough affordable enough to feed all of the American people. You think we live in a free country, folks? Wake up. I'm sorry, I don't get too political. Maybe we don't even post this. We're just venting, and that's okay.
I mean, it kind of doesn't matter because it's too late, right?
Yeah.
You know, the votes are in. But we are moms, and it's okay, you know, to process out loud. And if you don't like what we have to say, then, you know, we're not for you, and that's fine, right? We're not going to be for everyone. Melissa and I've been around long enough to know that not everybody likes us and we don't like everybody, but we can find a way to make a difference. And that's why we started this podcast. You know, I came to Melissa because, you know, I had been feeling and seeing a need for women to get real, for us as moms to get real about how hard it is to do this job. And there's a lot of noise around us that's telling us how we should be as moms and what we should be doing. And we're not doing enough here and we're not doing enough there. And, you know, if you're feeding your kids Kellogg's, then, you know, you're bad. And, you know, all these things, right? And it's overwhelming. And we just wanted to be real. And this is real. This is real. Today is real. My best friend in the whole wide world made a great point today. She has a son who, 2 sons, my nephews, and the oldest one is a freshman in high school. And she reminded him that in the next presidential election, he will be able to vote. And that he needs to take 4 years to educate himself about the issues, about how this country works, about what it means to cast your vote, and that he should rally his friends to do the same. And that, I thought, was great advice, because we can continue to make changes. We can continue to come together in community. And we will continue to do the hard work of being a real mom.
But most importantly, we need to listen. That just light bulb went off in my head. I don't know what that means, you guys. I just felt I had to say it. We need to listen to everybody, everything, our kids, our partners, our leaders, people on the other side. We need to listen. Because if we listen, we're going to get more insight. So we have to stop shouting and yelling and only listening so we can speak. I have a very bad habit of doing this. It's my biggest lesson right now in my relationship. Active listening. I thought I did that, but I don't. So, yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, I feel like I've been living in, a bit of a blue bubble, right? And today's crashing hard.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me, the issues were secondary to the values. But I know a lot of people don't have that luxury. But I'm going to keep focused on the things that I can control. And I can control how I treat people.
Mm-hmm.
I can control the messages in my home. I don't want my kids growing up.
We really need to actually pay a really close attention to what our kids are watching and listening to, because Gen Z flipped. Okay? Gen Z flipped. They have millennial and Gen X parents. So
I think that you're right that we need to listen and seek to understand like what were people thinking? What moved the needle for them? We're hearing the economy.
I think it's, I'm sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say is like I think that we do need to seek to understand what our fellow Americans are thinking, what they care about, why they maybe voted the way that they did. But I think we also have a responsibility as moms to make sure that the messages coming into our homes, right? At least in my case, are going to be around believing in the democracy and owning our responsibility to be part and present in that democracy, teaching compassion, kindness, empathy, and continuing to fill my kids' heads with love. And I don't even know what the like buzzword is for this, but like I just want my kids to know they are worthy. And they don't need to go get validation somewhere else. They don't need to go do the things. They don't need to buy this stuff, right? They are worthy. They are worthy. We all have worth. And as much as it is really hard for me to say this today, everyone, no matter what they believe, has a right to be here safely, free from persecution. And that if we are serious about this American democracy and we're not happy with today's outcome, then it's on us to lead by example and keep fighting.
I wanted to say about controlling what our kids listen to and watch. What I'm going to do is no matter what Brenna hears, listens to, sees, what I like to ask her is, how does that make you feel? What do you think? Because most of us vote the way our parents do, because that's what we watched and saw, right? And a lot of us change. Lisa did.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
But no one asked their kids that. For example, when my she's doing amazing in school. Instead of making it about me and saying, I'm so proud of you, I said, how does that feel? That's how we get our kids to talk to us and share with us. Because when I've had young people tell me that they were voting for Trump, I just stayed quiet because I didn't want to make them feel shame. I didn't want them to feel judged because they're allowed to have the opinion that they do. What I wish I would have done, and I'm going to do now, is say, tell me more about that. What made you come to that decision? Because I'm genuinely curious. I'm not asking to judge, and I'm going to do what? I'm going to listen. There's an Instagram person that I highly recommend that's Republican, named House and Habit. I've been following her for a very long time. She started off as a liberal. She was a mom blogger, and she has 4 sons, and she would make content about, she started off as what were those things called that people had on the internet that you read? Brain fog right now.
A blog?
A blog.
Yeah. You just said she was a blogger.
I did.
Yeah.
I got high this morning. I had to, but I have no memory when I'm high. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think between marijuana and menopause.
Right.
Well, and you said you didn't sleep.
I didn't sleep. I haven't slept for a couple nights.
And that definitely will take you down.
Yeah. So House and Habit. She would make blog posts about how to make teepees at home, things like that. Then she started becoming a individual journalist on pop culture. So all when the Britney stuff was going off, she was who you would get the good pop culture news on. At least gonna look her up. All of a sudden, this liberal feminist woman flipped, and she became an independent journalist tracking the election. I follow her because I find it fascinating. I still don't understand how she got there, but I'm still listening, right? We have to listen because there's a reason, right? What is it? I don't know how you go from a liberal to a Republican in this climate, right? But I want to understand. Doesn't mean I want to go there. I want to understand their perspective. That's where power is in all relationships. Understanding someone's perspective doesn't mean you have the same one. It means you understand. And when you understand, then that person feels heard, seen, and respected. And that's what we all deserve. All of us, both sides, all sides. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who you are. That's what matters for every human being. That's acceptance. And we have to get there. And it's a choice. So if you're not ready, you're not ready. But get there.
It pains me to say this, but you're right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
If we want a world that is more tolerant, if we want our kids to practice compassion for others as they would for themselves, we have to be willing to extend it.
Yeah.
And,
what does Jacob always say to us? Remember?
Yeah.
Say it. Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. You got to let them be
so you can be. You got to let them be so you can be. I don't know what comes next. I don't know that today I'm ready to just, snap to and get to doing the hard work, right? I see that red wave. But I know in my heart that if I want a world where my voice and the voice of my daughter counts just as much as the man sitting next to her, I got to keep being the change. Mm-hmm. I don't want to today. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off and I'm scared and I'm disappointed. I don't even think that word is strong enough to articulate the depths of my disappointment, but I got to keep going. I got to keep going. And I probably need to do a little bit more listening.
Mm-hmm. We all do.
I think we all do.
That's, I'm so grateful that I'm in my own personal timeline that I am in with all this going on in the world, because I lived alone for 5 years and a man just moved in with me, and
Her partner.
yeah,
Okay, let's just like not like a random man.
My biggest lesson is to listen and have patience. That man has that in droves. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. I saw something this morning on social media about his son, and I texted to him with a smiley face. He goes, "Oh, I know, I told you that." I'm like, "You did? I didn't remember he told me this." He goes, "Yeah, of course I told you that." And then I remembered. I go, "Oh my gosh, I remember now. I'm so sorry. I wasn't listening when he told me this thing, or I would have remembered." Right? So I'm owning that I haven't been listening, and I'm doing better. Because you know what's distracting me all the time is this. I've been on it half the time we've been on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's what they want us to be doing,
I know.
by the way. And I have a really bad fucking habit, and I need to pee.
Well,
I need more coffee.
let's wrap this up.
Yes.
I think
Because we're going to post it today.
there's a myriad of emotions that we are all experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people who feel like us. There are some people who are, overjoyed.
And let them have that, you guys. Because we sure had it 4 years ago, okay? Let them have it. Let's show them. Because what's the difference between 2016 and 2020? In 2016, we had a peaceful protest women's march. In 2021, we had an insurrection. Okay? Let's show them. That's how we do it. We let them be so we can be. Let them have their joy. Let them celebrate, because they have every right to do so. They had a goal and they got it.
What she said.
We love you guys.